And this segment is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sports booking app. And for all of the first-time users out there, if you use the promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. Deke, I don't know how you feel about that, but
it's a decent chunk of change.
I mean, it's decent, and it's essentially free money when you make your deposit. So I kind of like that if you like that.
Especially if you're going to do it anyway.
Which we all are going to do anyways.
Yeah, we love our sports. We love our money.
Without a doubt. So if you are in the same boat as us and you haven't downloaded the app just yet, make sure you download DraftKings Sportsbook, use the promo code, and get an opportunity to make a little money.
We got people.
Uh-huh.
So-called Steeler connoisseurs.
Uh-huh.
So-called Steeler fans.
Okay.
They watch every game.
Uh-huh.
I've had enough, dude. The disrespect has gone too far. I can't take them seriously anymore.
Okay.
We've seen throughout the season jersey swaps of rookie quarterbacks that have done jack shit in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
We've seen trades that these people are calling for, and they've had the audacity to even call for some of these trades middle of game for mediocre quarterbacks around the league. It's gone too far, dude. It's just gone too far. Now we can say, yeah, Ben's had a bad last two games. We've all agreed with that. I agree with that. They were two bad games.
Some people will debate it's been more than two. I'm just throwing it out there.
Fine.
Just a caveat. Just throwing it out there. I want you though.
That doesn't make a season, though. This dude is done for 33 touchdowns, 10 picks, after reconstructive elbow surgery, where a lot of people were questioning if he's even going to come back and play football. No offseason, no chemistry or anything like that. Questionable play calling. Now, we haven't really, we've discussed it, but we haven't railed on Figner in the offensive play calling like a lot of people. But I'll throw it in the mix. Some drops, and then some scheduling mishaps, too. For this dude to have 33 touchdowns, lead us to an AFC North championship, dude, that's a pretty damn good season to me. And for all the people that have done these jersey swaps and all this other type of shit, we can't take you seriously. We got a Hall of Fame quarterback, legend, champion, and you're doing this type of shit, not giving any respect. At this point, your accounts, your social media accounts, they're comedy acts, they're jokes. I can't take them seriously anymore, and I don't think anyone else should. So that's all I got to say.
And you get that from that second half only.
Huh? What do you mean?
That was derived from this, because it could have been the first half.
Huh?
I know that wasn't derived in the first half. That was the second half.
I felt the same way as they were posting it. I really did. Whenever
I'm with you. I'm just simply saying this,
I've always felt this way as anyone's posting this shit.
And I was going to say, we know your love and affection for 7, and I would not expect anything less. I fully anticipated you coming in here with that energy, and I'm glad you did. Because, people weren't going crazy for any reason. There was a distinct reason why they were asking for it.
No. Disrespectful.
Wait a minute now. You say it's disrespectful. I say it's people just looking at the factors, right? Ben once again in the first half was playing bad. Ben once again in the first half was missing on throws. Ben once again in the first half has started out slow. So I don't think it was inappropriate for people to have grown frustrated with it, especially, man, that first half performance, man, going in there 21-7 at halftime, man, it looked like it was going to be 4 games in a row that we were losing. A lot. And the reason I can say it from personal experience, because being on the chat, man, seeing how many people were saying these things, not only about the team, but then when we talked about Ben, man, what are the things that we could do at quarterback? People even, not just one person. Most people were even questioning putting Mason or Dobbs in the second half because of how bad he looked and the offense looked in the first half.
It's disrespectful.
I feel like
I don't think it was Ben. I really don't.
But you never think it's Ben, though. We've already talked about that. You never think it's Ben.
But I could still say he's played bad, but I just don't think it's just Ben. We've seen good throws and good things happen. But what did we also say about quarterbacks? We said they get all the love, right? So if we're gonna and wait a minute, and you even said, as you were giving your monologue about 7, you said that he has led us to an AFC North championship. So as if he's led us there, he's also led us in those defeats as well. What I'm saying is the disrespect's gone too far. It's one thing to say Ben's playing bad, to be calling for these jersey swaps, calling for these trades mid-game. Dude, it's absurd.
But I don't
it's
think
gone
it
too far.
is when you factor
it's a problem
in
of society.
You factor in his age, you factor in the cap hit next year, and his play throughout the entirety of the season.
Which I think has been great.
Throughout the entirety of the season. Started out hot, definitely took a fall off of a cliff. And then the second half, yes, they improved drastically. That's not great throughout the whole year. I'm sure we could look at it statistically. We'll point and say, oh, well, these are still good numbers. But when we talk about the difference between looking at numbers and actually watching him, There is a difference. So I don't feel like people are wrong for that. But at the same time, understanding your love for 7, this is expected.
Sure.
This is expected.
Sure, dude. Like, here's the thing, though. Brady and Rodgers have had bad games throughout the season.
And people have talked about their relationships as well.
Here's my point. This is where it gets disheartening because this is coming from home. Mm-hmm. This is coming from Steeler Nation. For national media to be saying, Brady's had a bad game, Rodgers, it's whatever. But, when it's coming from Steeler Nation, all this dissension, it hurts my heart. It's disgusting.
My thing is this. If it's coming from Steeler Nation, that should tell you a lot more. Because national media will turn on you in a heartbeat. Steeler Nation, they're not going to turn you unless it is absolutely warranted. If they feel they have zero option. They feel like they have zero option up until until halftime. They felt hopeless. They did not think that Ben had anything left. He looked dejected. As a team, we look bad in every aspect. And then the second half changed, and that's obviously why the energy is what it is. But let's be real. If he played that second half like the first half, we're not in here having that hat on. We're not in here talking about 7 in a good light.
I might, because I thought it was the play calling in the first half. I thought things were off, dude. Things seemed really scripted, dude.
Well, to me, my question is this: why does it always have to be an excuse if the play is not where it needs to be?
No. Here's my point.
Like, go ahead.
I'm not saying he was playing great or good or anything, but to say he's washed up or doesn't have anything left in the tank, like that's just completely absurd. That's my point.
This is the thing. I think it's a difference between having something left in the tank and being worth $41 million. That's the difference. Right now, we know his cap hit next year is $41 million. So when people are talking about drafting a quarterback, when they're talking about trading for a quarterback, they're just simply saying on a value standpoint, has Ben's play been worth $41 million? Because that's what you're going to have to pay him next year. And I feel like if we're all speaking objectively, it has not been up to $41 million. And that's the biggest reason why people, I feel like, have expedited the whole conversation about, man, going out and getting a different quarterback because of the number. If that number is sitting at 35, if it's sitting at 38, I think it's a different conversation.
We already talked about this, though. We think it's going to happen.
True.
Whether they're going to extend it and move around the numbers.
But this is the thing. Just because we think it's going to happen, that doesn't mean that somebody might not strongly disagree with it. It's not saying that a lot of people might not disagree with that move, and that is why they could be looking to say, man, for that number, we could find more value somewhere else. And probably even help the team out in a larger way because we can use some of that money to bring in more talented players in other positions.
See, obviously I disagree. This is just a problem with society, man. It just is. This has become a larger issue. We're looking at some of these trade calls.
You always talk about being ahead of the curve, though. You always talk about planning ahead, trying to figure out what's the next trend. And you want that in everything except when it deals with quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ben has deserved the consistency.
Like what?
No. He's deserved the consistency. Hall of Famer, champion, all that type of stuff. But no, because here's the thing. We always, you're in college, you're looking forward to your first job. Mm-hmm. First job, you're looking forward to this. Just appreciate the moment. It's all you have left.
You can appreciate the moment, but this moment is definitely
having a legend at quarterback.
This moment is definitely closer to the end than the beginning of it. So it's safe to start preparing for the next moment. Otherwise, what happens? You become one of these franchises that spend the next 10 to 20 years trying to find a quarterback, and you endure a lot of heartache, a lot of losing seasons, a lot of non-competitive teams. Steeler Nation as a whole is just trying to avoid that. That's all.
I get it, but there's different ways to go about that.
Not really. Not when the quarterback, when we're talking about quarterback, I feel like every year we went about it differently, right? Because every year we haven't had to discuss the quarterback. Now that we have to discuss the quarterback, now all of a sudden we need to go about it differently. It's like we've done last year we went about it differently. The year before that we went about it differently. We've shown numerous examples of how they went about it differently in terms of, okay, you lose Ben last year. What do? We don't trade for a quarterback. No, we trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick. All right, we had this offseason. We don't sign a quarterback. We ride with Ben. Okay, the year before that we don't get a quarterback in the first round. We wait to the third to pick up Mason. Like we've seen them handling it multiple ways, and now it's like, all right, how are you going to handle it this time?
Okay. Well, we got our guy, is what I'm saying, and I said it last podcast. I hope he's good for the next 2 or 3.
This is the thing, though. You're hoping for next 2 or 3. We know a lot of that still falls on the bias, right? Just the fandom. But the people
and I
that
said
look
that. I acknowledge
though,
it. I said objectively,
No,
yeah. There's
and
a
I'm with
whole
you.
there's a whole way to look at it. You bring in a successor, whatever,
Absolutely.
and have him sit for the next 2 or 3 years. I understand that.
I'm with you on that. I just feel like not everybody thinks that Ben has 2 to 3 years.
I think he does.
High quality ball. And yesterday was a prime example of how we can lose sight of what we saw in the first half, but because the second half looks so much better, you kind of forget about it. We can't forget. I mean, dude, just think about these past 4 games now. We've seen a lot more of the bad side from 7 than the good side from 7. That's the biggest thing. And for $41 million, you want to see high level consistency for 41. That's the biggest thing.
All right. Well,
41's a big number.
Huh?
41's a big number.
I get it, dude, but
That's
I'm
a
saying
huge number.
I'm saying 33 touchdowns. I think he's had a great season. Now, if you want to talk about that number versus other quarterbacks in the league and all that type of stuff, I'd rather have Ben being a top 5 guy in the league at
But it's
that
been
number.
a top 5 guy right now.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot who I'm asking. I don't know why I asked you that question. Never mind.
Dude,
Never mind. Jesus.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you what you saw yesterday.
That's right. Hold on. Who's the number 1 quarterback in the league?
Come on, dude.
No, I'm just serious.
Come on.
To you, who's the number 1 quarterback
Dude,
in the league?
Stop, man.
We're gonna get to. I gotta get to these questions.
You're trying to discredit me, dude.
I'm not. I just want to
No,
just hear it.
you're
Who's the
trying to
number 1
discredit
quarterback
me.
in this league? If it's not discredit, if you really feel that way, right?
No, you're just trying to discredit me.
So you don't feel that 7's the number 1 quarterback in the league then?
No, I do, but not a lot of people.
So what do you
think
mean? Then? It's
Not a lot
not
of people
discredited.
think
That's your
this.
opinion. I was just asking. I just
Nah.
wanted to hear your opinion. That's all.
Not a lot of people think this, but it's cool.
Okay. So you ready to get into some of these questions, man?
Yeah.
Unless you got anything else, man.
I got
for
everything
7,
off
man.
the chest. I thought that was a good conversation, though.
I
Honestly.
agree, man. Because it's different perspective. That's all.
It is.